All right, so you can go about this process and its workflow in really kind of any order, but I'm going to kind of step through um, it in a way that how I might start and go about doing it. So the first thing that I want to do is get this data cleaned up, and I'm going to concentrate on all the 2D elements for stakeout. So even if I'm not doing 3D machine control and I need to go lay this out, I can do so with just some 2D line strings and elements. So what I'm going to do first of all is to turn off the grading plan. So I'm going to go over to my view filter manager, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to click the site grading plan, and I'm going to display all those members. I'm going to click OK. So that's going to turn off all the grading information that I don't need. I could also come in here and clean up some other stuff, but I'm going to show you how we can isolate this. So I'm going to start with just the construction fence, and that's this line right here. So when I select it, you can see that it's not the complete line, but it is one line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up top here by selecting that construction fence. If you go to layers, you can see that there is a construction fence layer. So I can either look through this and I can find that layer and turn everything else off, but turn that on, or I could select this line and then I could come up here and select view only the layers of this object. And what that's going to do is just show me basically the construction fence going around my site. So this might be my limit of disturbance. I might want to lay this out and send it out. I don't need elevations to do that. I can just export this line out. But what I want to do is I want to join all these individual segments into one line. You could use the join command on CAD, or you could use the data prep tool, which is project cleanup. So the first thing I'm going to do is select all the lines, and I'm going to go to project cleanup, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to choose just the current selection. And on the current selection, I'm going to come down here and you can see I've got join lines with small gaps, overlaps, and misalignments. And you can see I've got a tolerance in there for that. At the same time, I'm going to remove any unused blocks, unused line styles. So all those line styles and text styles and everything that came in, that we're not using, is going to remove those. Any zero length fragments, it's going to remove those. I'm not going to do this yet. I'm going to toggle that off because I'm not going to mess with the elevation range yet. We'll deal with that in another object or another step. And I'll remove any hatch objects. I don't need those. I won't worry about filtering line vertices, but these tools down here, these cleanup options, are only going to happen on this line that I have selected. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click apply. It's going to go through and it's going to remove. You can see it removed a bunch of junk, and removing a bunch of that junk is going to be helpful. You can see it added 7 lines. It removed unprotected layers with no objects, unused dimension styles, unused line styles, and 85 block definitions. So now I can click close, and when I pick on this line, you'll see that it joined most of it. This gap tolerance here didn't get joined, so you can see there's a too big of a gap there. But that's easy enough to fix. I can just right click, select that line, right click, and join lines, and then pick this line. You can see there was a foot gap versus 3/1000ths, and I'm just going to join that one. And then we could close this, right? Or I can just take this grip, left click on it, and drag it over to this point right here and close it off. So now I've got that closed fence, and that's cleaned up. So next what we'll do is we'll take a look at cleaning up some more data. And in that case, I think we'll start with all the curbing.